Okay, just double checking that we are good to go. So we are officially on day one of our masterclass. I'm just making sure we're good, making sure everyone can hear me. I know we had some issues with the pre-masterclass live where they couldn't hear me. So team, if you can let me know, that would be fantastic that we are good to go. So just waiting on that confirmation and we will go. Yes. Let's see. Okay. But if you are on, say hello. Super excited to get to hang out with you all today. We have a lot going on. And Laura will be on in just a moment. But if you're on, go ahead and comment hello. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and comment the replay. I just need to know that I can see comments and we are good to go from there. Okay. All right. So there we go. Thank you, Leah. All right. Laura, are you on? Ready to go? You're muted.
Yes, I'm ready. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. Okay, there we go. I can see comments. I'm super excited for today. We are streaming also to the public for one day only, and then if you would like to join the rest of the week, you are more than welcome to. There will be a registration link in the comments so that you are able to join us for the rest of the week for the 5-day masterclass. But we're going to go ahead and get going today. I just want to go over some terms to make sure that my ladies that are staying the entire week just remember what was mentioned in the pre-master class. I'll keep it short. We're going to be live every single day this week at 10 a.m. Eastern for up to 2 hours, giving lots of info out, some mindset, some because that's where the success lies and all of that. Your questions do have to pertain to what we are covering that day, meaning that any questions that you ask when we do the Q&A at the end of today will pertain to today. Um, We're also going to do live raffles every day for every comment that you give. My team is watching this chat and they will add you into a spinning wheel and then we will claim the raffle here randomly. I will tell them to call it randomly and we will let you know who wins. Pretty much that's it. We have some daily worksheets that are given out every single day. We give most participation out to. And then last but not least, Facebook has a lag. So just kind of keep that in mind. Facebook has a lag of about 15 to 20 seconds. So when I go to call your name for the raffle or you're waiting on a question to be answered, please understand there is a lag from the time that you press enter to the time that we see it. So if like I call a raffle and I'm not seeing something about 30 to 40 seconds, even if I call the name and you've already typed in, but if I've called it in my real time, unfortunately, once that name is called, that is the person that gets to win even the second. All right. So comment, interact, have fun, comment your takeaways, but we're going to jump right in. We have a lot to cover. Um, First, who is Laura and myself? So my name is Liz. I am Laura's daughter. I've been investing since 2015. I've been doing it completely virtual, so meaning that I have never had to meet with sellers, walk through properties, or anything like that. I have done this completely from the comforts of my own home or laptop or what have you. So that's pretty cool as being that it's been 9 years of completely virtual investing. I've gone into homes for the rental side of things, and I don't know why people are so hell-bent on not doing virtual. It's a lot more work to have to do things in person. So I just have been doing that for 9 years. To keep my story really short, I started coaching in 2020 when everyone had to bring their business virtual overnight. And then I realized I really loved watching students succeed and build their business and knew that I had a portion of it. And I became an official coach for REIW then. And I teach more of virtual systems, virtual wholesaling, since that's what I do, things like that. So that's my very short to the point story. Laura?
Sure. Well, I've been in real estate, I can't believe I always say this, but it's almost 4 decades. So I've been probably I'm the oldest in age, but also in experience as far as being a real estate investor out there in the field. So I started back in 87. Originally, if you wonder about my accent, I came from Italy and I started in 87 as a real estate agent. And honestly, I started for a way to pay for college. And I got my degree in accounting, and I started as a real estate broker in Hawaii. Now in 91 is when I transitioned to investing. So I started with rentals actually because I didn't know about any other way of investing. I thought rentals is the only way to invest in real estate. So I started with rentals. Within about 2 years, I had accumulated a portfolio of over 40 doors in about 18 months, actually, making about $10,000 in passive income, which in 91, that was quite a bit of money. But during the experience of accumulating my rental portfolio, I stumbled into this little known strategy called flipping contracts, which nowadays is called wholesaling. So I was kind of a pioneer when it came to wholesaling. I was probably one of the first people really doing this at the high level. And so I started wholesaling in the beginning of the 90s, but like I said, it was called flipping the contracts. And as anything else with real estate, when you start one thing, you stumble into another. I also stumbled into fix and flips. And mainly I connected with some hard money lenders. They had taken back properties. They were willing to finance them. And this is golden nugget, guys. A lot of hard money lenders also take back properties like banks do. And they're willing to finance these deals because they're already financing them anyway. So I started doing some fix and flips, but also I realized that I didn't want to go that route with hard money lenders because of their fees and interest rates. So I took a step back. And at the same token, like a lot of you, I'm sure, are working corporate. I was working corporate. I had to use my degree. I felt like my husband at the time, which was Lisa's dad, believed that, this is more of a safe way of making money, is having your corporate job and sticking with that. So doing real estate on the side at this point in the mid 90s, something happened with me where I decided that real estate was going to be something I wanted to do full time. I hated to have this fixed schedule, worried about corporate every day. I had 3 small children at home, and I knew what real estate what could have done because I've done really well in Hawaii and then also with my rental business. So I made the decision to just transition into real estate full time. So that's the first thing you have to do. You have to make that decision. Give yourself 6 months, make the decision to transition into real estate. And I did what I had to do schedule wise. So one of the things I do with the students, I say, break out your schedule. If you have about 1 to 2 hours a day, it's more important what you do with 1 to 2 hours a day. Okay. And when you break the schedule and you do this consistently, I'm seeing right now, I was on calls this morning with some of the students. They are in the second week of doing this and they're already submit multiple contracts. Okay, so that's the thing, the power of really focusing and breaking a schedule and knowing what to do within that schedule. So once I realized that and I broke the code on that, which was in 95, my business boomed overnight. So I quit my job corporate. I got in real estate full time. I did wholesaling. I started doing some fix and flip with money mark partnerships that I raised on my own. And then in 2001, I went into syndication, new developments, and so forth. And then the sky's the limit. So you migrate over the last 4 decades. I'm kind of giving you the short here, but the last 4 decades, I definitely migrated from different things within the real estate arena. And that's how I built the business. Now, about 15, 16 years ago, people start asking me, how do you do this? How do you do that? And so I start coaching initially more on a local level. And then I started expanding my circle until now that we coach all over the country. And also we have students from other countries as well. So that's kind of the short version of it, as shorter as I can keep it. And by letting you know also that you are coming in to here between me, Liz, and other people, coaches we have in our community, which several of them are also past students. You're coming into a ton of experience into all the phases of real estate, from wholesaling, buying whole, fix and flip, raising private money, Airbnb, luxury real estate investing, and so forth. So we're going to share with you a lot this week of all of this, and I'm going to give you a lot of what I call golden nuggets. But these are things that are working, and I have, like I said, I cracked the code long time ago, and if people listen to what I say to them, they start doing deals super, super quickly. I have the proof right now. We just did a retreat when was it, 2, 3 weeks ago, and already have students with multiple deals on the contract. So I'm super excited.
Great. Okay, so moving into the basics of today and the actual content. Now, we gave out ways for them to choose the right strategy and stuff earlier in the week. So, do you want to tell a quick overview of maybe the people who are struggling to pick a strategy?
Yes. Okay, so Lisa, and we do share that chart, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So if they were able to, or you're able to get that chart, I think will be really helpful. But I'm just going to give you a little bit the gist of it. So first of all, there are three main strategies when it comes to real estate investing. Wholesaling, buy and hold, which is rentals, and fix and flip. Okay. So it really depends on where you are right now. There are two things that you have to consider: your level of experience and your financial ability. When we talk about financial ability, I don't talk necessarily just about your own savings, okay, or your income. It's like what you're tapping into. Maybe you have retirement accounts or a HELOC on your house, or you know people who has the money. So that's part of your financial ability. So when you look at the real estate strategy, the first thing I look at is that what you really want to do, right? What is your aspiration? For example, wholesaling, I call it my ATM machine. I like wholesaling to this day because this is where you get the big chunks of cash. You know, do you want to pay off credit cards? Do you want to buy a house? You need a down payment. Do you want to buy a new car? Do you want to take a trip? You want to pay your kids' tuition, right? That's what wholesaling can give you, those big checks up front. Now, buy and hold rentals is where you get the passive income, the long term, right? So that's what your rental is kind of your consistent money, passive income that comes in. Fix and flip. A lot of women like the fix and flip because it's kind of, feeding into their creative, right? It's like they like to see the houses come to life. They like to bring this property back to a second wind. So first of all, you have to choose what really is your heart set on it. Then you look at the reality of where you are, experience-wise and financial. What type of financial capabilities do you tap into? Then you choose a strategy. Now, sometimes I say, people say, I really don't want to do wholesaling, but you have no money whatsoever. You don't know anybody you can tap with money, and you have no experience. So maybe wholesaling, is kind of your way, a foot in the door, because once you do 3 to 5 deals, then the private lenders are going to look at you much differently than if you have no deals at all, right? So that's the way you're looking at it. And by the way, wholesaling, I was talking to one of the students, and they're saying, well, we're coming across all these properties, and these don't fit my criteria to buy as a rental, but this one does. And I was like, okay, so what are you doing with the ones that don't fit your criteria? And she didn't say anything. I says, those are the ones you wholesale, right? Don't second guess. Just because they don't work for you, they're not going to work for somebody else. So once you understand that and you start working from that point, then wholesaling is not something that, it seems like you go out of your way. You're doing rentals anyway, the ones you don't want, you wholesale. But we have this chart. So look at the chart, be very honest with yourself, where you're coming from financially and experience-wise, and then it will help you to choose the strategy that is better for you.
Okay. So, kind of following our theme, Laura, I sent you a message of like what we're following. So, if you want to pay with that, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world today and the economy and all that.
Okay. So I know we are at the verge of the new elections here coming up in 2 weeks. Okay. And I want to say something to you that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. So that who is going to be president, what's going on in the world. Because the thing when it comes to real estate investing, right, you are going to navigate depending on what is going on. So you can change. I love this quote that I have. I actually have it on my placemat when I have coffee every morning. It says, you can't adjust the sales, right? So you can't adjust the sales, but you can adjust to what you're going to do, the direction you're going to go. You can't adjust I'm sorry, you can't adjust the wind, but you can adjust the sails to put the direction of where you want to go. So that's the thing you say, you can't control the economy, who is going to do what and when. So with that said, we are in a time of changes. We are in a time of uncertainty, but look at this as a time of possibilities. Okay, so that's what I want to really share with you. So with that said, when you come to real estate investing, there are always going to be things that are going to open up doors. When one door closes, so many other ones open. You just have to adjust and adapt. Real estate investing is different than the regular real estate. When you are an agent dealing with, the pretty houses and all of that, it's a much different dynamics than when you're dealing with real estate investing. Real estate investing takes advantage of the opportunities out there. So it's a lot different than just regular real estate. So with that said, what is going on? I think while the interest rates are dropping as we speak, is opening up more. It's turning into more of a buyer's market from a seller's market. Going into next year, we're going to see different changes coming through because of the results that are going to come out of the elections. But whatever matters, as an investor, remember, you're taking advantage of opportunities. When there are wrinkles in the economy, when there are wrinkles in the market, when there are changes in the attitude and culture and society, this is where the investors have to grasp all those opportunities. And you adjust the sales, and you're going to navigate, and you're going to get to where you want to go regardless.
Definitely. Okay, let's move into choosing an area.
Okay. So the first thing is, once you choose the strategy, okay, so first you want to choose the strategy. So that's number one. Okay, what strategy am I going to focus on in the next 6 months? Now, I'm not saying you have to be doing only this strategy the rest of your life. This is what you're going to start with. This is your low-hanging fruit based on what I shared with you a few minutes ago. Now, the second thing you want to do is, based on the strategy, which area? Okay, so the area is going to depend a lot on the strategy. So Liz, are you going to share a little bit how to choose the strategy?
How to find the area?
I'm sorry, yes, how to find it.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of screen share here in a moment and kind of choose it. But one of the things I find out a lot is that a lot of the ladies get really hang up on this one. Okay, one of the great things about women is that you have a gut feeling. You have something that can really help you to decide at the end of the day what works. But we're going to give you a little bit, Elizabeth, you're
I
sharing.
know, I'm not sure why it's doing that. Hold on.
Okay. We're going to give you a little bit here of a homework or a way of really finding out how to choose the area. So basically, you're looking at the supply and demand. Looking at, if you're doing a wholesaling, who's going to be your end buyer? It's going to be either a landlord or a rehabber. If you're doing a fix and flip, who is going to be your end buyer? It's probably going to be an owner occupant or a landlord who is buying turnkey. If you are dealing with rentals, who is going to be your tenant? Are you dealing with short-term rentals? Are you going to deal with long-term? So that's what it is. That's how you're going to choose your area on. So let's go ahead. I see your screen sharing. So one of the first resources that we do is the National Association of Realtors, the NAR, which they pick up all their data basically from the MLS. So Liz, do you want to ask him in an area so we can kind of pull it up?
Yeah, so while I am showing you how to find this, put the first one to put a city and state. And now it has to be like a metro city, not a very small city, but city and state. I will show you how to find like what we do to choose the right area within that section. How do we know if it's good or not? So go ahead into the chat and put that city and state. All right, Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you. All right. So what will happen now is you will go to nar.realtor. Yes, nar.realtor. You do not need any kind of membership or anything like this to use this site. All right. I'm not signed in. There's nothing I'm doing. See, I'm not signed in. So you're going to come over here to research and statistics. Okay. And then you're going to come down and you're going to click state and metro area data. Now, when we get off, you will have the recording, so you're able to watch this if you're in the Facebook group. If you're on the public, you won't have the recording, so keep this in mind. So I'm going to move a little faster just because you can watch the replay on how to apply it to your city and state. So you're going to click this state and metro data, and then you're going to come down here to where it says Metropolitan Statistical Data MSA, and you're going to click that. And then you're going to pull all the way down to where it says Local Market Reports. Now we're going to do Phoenix, Arizona. So you're going to go to Arizona and you're going to click Phoenix, okay? And it will download this PDF to your computer. Now this PDF has a lot of really good knowledge in it, but I'm going to have us go to right here where it talks about the local price trends, okay? And Laura, do you want to point out a few numbers?
Yes. So now, first of all, this one runs a little bit behind. So, there are a couple of quarters behind. So if you look at it, this is for the second quarter of 2024, but that's okay. This year we haven't really seen huge, big changes as far as, trends. So you look at the national average here, where it says under price activity, 1 year, 4 quarters appreciation. So you look at the US average, which was 4.9% for the second quarter of 2024. Okay. Then you look at the area specific, Phoenix, which is 3.5%. So that has been a little lower than the national average, but that's good. Actually, this is good. That means that at the end of the day, things are not as competitive. Things cannot be as bad as national average. If it was over the national average, that means that there is a lot of competition. That means that the supply and demand is really hot. That means as a real estate investor, you can still do deals, but you also have to be facing a lot of competition. If it's a lot below the national average, let's say if it was 1%, 2%, or even negative, that means that things are slow in that area. The supply and demand is not really working as well. Okay. So that concerns me. But 3.5 against 4.9%, that's good. That's actually good. Things are appreciating, things are moving up. Even on the comment there, local trend, it says prices are up from a year ago, but price growth is slowing. Okay, but that's fine. And then you will read what it says. Gains in the last 3 years have extended the trend of positive price growth after the recession. So that is good data. So yes, and I know about Phoenix. So I personally think Phoenix is a great area. However, it is a large area, so you have to choose pockets within Phoenix, and that's why we're going to look at the second way of doing, kind of cross-references some of this data. The other thing I look at is the FHA loan limit. You see the FHA loan limit, it says 498,257, and the conforming loan limit is 766. So that means that as a rehabber, if I'm a smart rehabber, depending on what type of rehabber I am. So if I want to do a lot of the, middle income to lower income homes that probably can support a lot of the landlords that want to buy for rental income, I would probably stay at the FHA loan limit and below for after repair value. So, when I buy a house and fix it up, at the end of the day, I want to sell it for, $500,000 or below, right? It's 498, the FHA limit. Now, if I'm looking for owner occupants and more as my target market, and the larger population, I mean, after repair value, I can probably go up to 766. So those are kind of the sweet spot, I would say, as far as after repair value for a rehabber. So either you're rehabbing yourself, you flip yourself in the Phoenix area, or you're going to, as a wholesaler, you're going to sell properties to a flipper. I would say that you want to kind of stay in the sweet spot that will make more sense to them. And that's what is going to help you to sell these properties faster, because you're looking at what the trend is for the area. Okay, Liz.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, now you want to show how to cross-reference, and let's keep Phoenix for the
Okay.
sake of an example. It's easier for me to cross-reference that.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me pull it up on there. I just have it, they do like the save search history, so I have
Yeah.
to reshare and all that. Okay. All right, so we are in Phoenix, Arizona. So what you're going to do is a few filters here. So you're going to come over here to more, and you're going to go down to sold. Okay, so it had to have been sold. Where'd it go? Am I missing it, Laura? There.
You
Nope,
have to go to for sale first.
that's
Change.
why. Yep, there you go. I
Okay.
was like, what in the world? Okay, now you can go
Okay.
down, sold, and then you want to put in the last 90 days or 6 months. But Phoenix is very
It's
hot, so
not
let's
90 days,
let's
yeah,
do
because
90
the
days.
market has been changing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so what you're going to do now is you're going to look for pocketed areas that kind of match the numbers that you were pulling on nar.realtor. So off of a quick glance here, hold on.
Zoom
Yeah,
in. Okay.
I am. It's just being finicky. Yeah, off of a quick glance here, I'm thinking this area
Yeah.
is going to
Use
be good compared to the
Yeah.
1.3.
Yeah. I personally, like I said, I know a little bit about Phoenix. So, I would definitely go more in the Northwest, which is where you're looking at. So can you zoom in more, Liz?
Where?
The
Right here?
Northwest area. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just being so finicky. Hold on. Let me just. Okay.
Okay, zoom in more. Okay. So you see those prices there? Okay. So what you do is I pick up randomly. If you know in an area within the northwest of Phoenix, obviously you can start with that. But pick up randomly something list that's probably you see around 300,000 to 400,000 mark.
Mhm. Okay. Why is that the same? Oh, that's boarded up.
Okay, pick up that one. Okay. So now go down to the price history. And you see listed for sale. Well, no, that doesn't show.
Yeah, let's pick something else.
Yeah. Because you want to know something that obviously you look at data that came up on the MLS. Okay, this was fixed up. A price history listed for sale in August 2024 for 310 and is sold in the end of September for 305. So I look at, I pick up randomly maybe about a dozen of these. And what I want to look at is did they sell for at or above the asking price or at or below? So if I see that most of them sold for at or below, to me it's a good sign that there is room to negotiate. So this one here is listed for sale in July for 303 and is sold in September for 302. So again, that's below the asking price. So see if we can pick up some that are not being repaired. Yeah, this one looks like it could be listed for sale for let's see. No, this one it was a
Doesn't
for
work.
sale. If it doesn't show listed for sale, means it was for sale by owner or it was a private sale. Okay. If it doesn't, some listed for sale so years and years ago, you don't take those. So this one is listed for sale for 390 at the in August and is sold in September for 345. So see, this stuff here tells me that there is movement in the right direction, meaning that people are willing to negotiate, sellers are willing to negotiate, right? This is huge, because if I start picking on areas and everything sell at or above asking price, I know the competition is tough. I know that people mentality or culture is that they can get more than the asking price. Okay. And so I really don't like to deal with that area. I am personally a soft sale, as I call. I'm not an aggressive salesperson that wants to really have a confrontation with people and, wrestle them down on the price as much as I can and stuff like that. I'm not like that. I'm pretty much, and the way you're going to learn from us this week is how we approach sale, especially when we're going to talk on Thursday about the three sales contract, the three-prong contract, how we come in in a softer way, creating win-win situations and presenting different solutions to the owner. That's the way I come in. So I like to go in areas where I feel like there is room to talk, that the owner is not coming in with the expectation that he's going to get more than what the property is worth. Because then when I see things like this, I know I have room to talk and negotiate. So from what I'm seeing here, I don't know who submitted this area, but from what I'm seeing here, this is a great area. This is actually a good area to invest.
Definitely. Okay, let's move forward, Laura.
Okay. So what's next on the agenda?
I sent it to you in Slack.
I know I do.
So moving forward from that, then let's give them their homework. The very first thing with homework this week is that you're going to choose your strategy and choose your area following the steps that we gave you. Okay? So you want to choose your strategies, the most important one, and then you want to choose the area by running through the steps that we gave you. Now keep in mind at or below is good. So you're looking for a lot that are more at or below to find that area that's good for you. So Laura, what if they're not sure where they want to invest yet? How would they start choosing areas?
Yeah, well, the first thing I always say is, most of us have an affinity to an area for whatever reason. Maybe you grew up there, maybe you lived there at some point, maybe you went to school there, maybe you have family there, because one of the things we talk about is having boots on the grounds or working with, usually it's easier to work with an area that you are somehow familiar with. Okay. So, and then I go from there, something that I feel I have an affinity or I'm familiar with it, then I do my homework. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to rely on what other people say. I don't care what people say at the RIA meetings. I don't care what family and friends might say. Doesn't matter to me. The numbers don't lie. What we share with you today, as far as the NAR and also Zillow, those numbers don't lie, right? So that's what I'm looking for facts. So you might look through different areas. You might come up with a list of areas that you might have an affinity with. And then you say, okay, I work my numbers, and then you're going to pick one area, So it's most of you, a lot of you can probably choose very local to where you are. You don't have to go far away. By the end of the day, when you're doing virtual investing that we're going to talk about this week, it doesn't really matter. It could be another area, because when it comes to wholesaling, you are flipping contracts, right? You're not really flipping properties per se. You're flipping contracts. So yeah, you can do it anywhere in the country, even in another country. But the thing is, choose an area that maybe you're familiar with, that's easier for you to relate to, and then go from there. And then as your confidence builds up, then you can basically pick an area out of a hat and do research on that. It all comes down to the numbers and the possibilities.
Definitely. So just as a reminder for those who are watching on the public site, we are only opening up today to the public. So if you want to sign up to get the next 4 days, we're going to be talking wholesaling, rentals, flips, creative financing, private money, and virtual investing, and how to build your system to completely automate. So just a quick, for those that are watching publicly, if you want to join, it's only $7 for the general ticket. My team is going to put the link. Now, we're going to go into some fun stuff here in just a bit. I will be calling a raffle here in just a bit. So team, if you want to start getting that numbers. But what I want to do now is talk a little Q&A. Let's do a little Q&A. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some things, the common struggles I see with women who are getting into investing. And then we will call the raffle.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about our plan this week. So first of all, this is a master class that we have done over the last few years very, very successfully. And I like this format. We kind of changed it last time. Now we're coming back to this one because it gives you a really good overview into all of the strategies. So today we talk about the core basics, which, by the way, I want to also add that once you choose the area, you need to create a business entity based on the area that you invest, not the area that you live. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. So today we're kind of talking of the core basic for any of the strategy. But then tomorrow we're going to start breaking down every day into the strategy. So if you're interested in wholesaling, that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. If you're interested to buy and hold, that's on Wednesday. If you're interested in fix and flip, that's on Thursday. Okay. And then we're going to talk about the different things like contracts and so forth, and the private financing. So there is a lot of information that we cover every single day. And then on Friday, we're going to put it all together. Okay. We're going to put it all together where you're going to learn about systems. You're going to learn how to really navigate. For example, you could be focusing on buy and hold, but then again, some stuff you might want to wholesale. So you're going to find that interaction between the different strategies. And what is the glue that's going to put it all together is private money. So we're going to really talk about my own experience in raising private money. How did I do it? Right. And raising private money, it was basically what took my business from, doing some deals to exponentially 10x everything. And if you talk to anybody out there in the industry that has built large portfolios of rental properties or doing fix and flip at a high level, is because they leverage money partnership and private money. So we're going to talk about that. So there is a ton of information that we're doing it this week. And what we share for the cost of a cup of coffee from Starbucks, because that's what it comes down to, the $7, is that, we share with you, why do we do this? Well, first of all, we have this amazing community of women. I want to build personally a movement. I want to build a tribe. I want to build this community of women that are there to pay it forward and help each other. And I would love for you to be part of this community. Okay. So we want to make this affordable for everybody to come in. And then you see the value of being in this community. So you're going to get a sample throughout this week of what this community is about. So we invite you to interact. We invite you to go into the Facebook group this week. Really leverage the knowledge, the experience. We are going to do lives. We're going to do work on mindset as well, because mindset is so crucial to everything. I would say 70, 80% of what you do is going to be a mindset. And then obviously you need the skills. So we want to make it affordable. We want to give everybody the opportunity to see what is possible for you with real estate. Because I believe real estate is just a tool to live the life you want. How many of you live to work? Let's face it. A lot of you have these jobs and go home and take care of the children of the house and go to bed and start over. That's not a life, right? You want to have the life that you want, and real estate can allow you to do that. When I realized what real estate could do for me, my family, my own personal development, to me, it was an easy option. I do real estate. It allows me to live the life that I want. It allows us to have everything and anything we want when we want it. It allows us the freedom to do what you want, the freedom to live the life on your own terms, right? And we're talking a lot more about real estate and mindset this week, but this week is really your step into a new world, which is real estate. And that's why we want to make it affordable. So for everybody here that's watching, even from our channels, $7, the cost of cup of coffee, is totally worth what you're going to be exposed to this week. And we want to take you on this journey to see what is possible.
Great. Definitely. So let's go into a little bit of Q&A. So I put a dotted line, and basically we're going to go into questions. I haven't seen any come through since the dotted line. Just remember it's one question per person and it must pertain to today's topic. So it's need to, which was choosing a strategy or choosing the right area. Just trying to find a pen so I can write your names down. But yeah, let's get going. What questions? Now, some feedback as they were listening to you, Laura, is private money was scary until I started hearing more about it. I can't wait to hear your knowledge on it. Love the support and energy. This is a great class. Some people were mentioning that they're new. 60% of Americans live check to check. And they're talking about generational wealth, time and freedom. And then Karen said, better late than never. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Any questions in the group? I'm just trying to see. Okay. Will the worksheets assist me with finding the right strategy? They have some like fill in the blanks. So we post them every morning around like 7 a.m. so that you have time to pull them below. Or sorry, I'm reading the next question. So you have time to pull them and bring them to the live and like kind of fill in the blanks, write down your own notes, your own takeaways. Because here's the thing. You're going to go back and listen to these recordings because unless you bought the elite ticket, these recordings are coming down for you come Monday morning, so you have till Sunday night, right? So you're going to come back and listen again, and you're going to hear things differently. You're going to hear things you don't remember hearing before. And so those worksheets are a way to kind of break down what we're talking about and have them after the week is over so that you're able to revisit your notes. Okay? All right. Teresa Wood was saying at or below. I'm not sure what your question is, though. So if you want to ask me like your question, are you asking that that's what we're looking for? Then yes. But I want to make sure I answer it right. That's early for me. I am PST. Yes, definitely. So it's 7 a.m. for you. But it's fantastic. You get up and you get to start the morning that way, right? Okay. Carolyn's asking, so with the NAR percentage, close to national or slightly above is good, just not higher.
Correct. Yes. I mean, if you see the national average at 4.9 and something was, 6, that's fine. But if you start seeing 7 or 8, for example, about a year ago in the Tampa area or even Miami, but Tampa, remember the national average was 15, 16% because, price are crazy. But Tampa was 30, 35%. And Miami was in the high 20s. So can you do deals in those areas? Yes, you can. But let's face it, as a new real estate investor coming in, already not maybe being the most confident and dealing with these over wholesalers that feel like they know everything and they're really out to get everybody, it's going to be very discouraging. So why do you have to go through that when you can go into another market and for the same amount of time and effort, you do a lot more deals faster? That's
Mhm.
my way of looking at it.
I agree with that. I'm looking to starting with wholesaling first. That's how I got at my end was wholesaling. That my team just put the link for the PDF if you would like it for the worksheet. All right. I thought I saw something I wanted to comment, but maybe she deleted her comment. Let's see. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay. Okay. This is good. I need cash, so wholesaling is the best way to begin, but how do you get over the fear of wholesaling? The initial contact seems so hard to me. Laura, do you want to talk about it or me?
Yeah, no, I just want to say something. We're going over this week some of the strategy like getting leads, right? And we're going to go over the concept of quick wins and long nurture. And that goes a long way in really establishing and getting over the fear. Because when you go over the quick wins, you're getting over a lot of the fear. A lot of you have fear of talking to somebody that you don't know.
And
Picking
I'll
up
be
the
doing a mindset on that this week.
Yeah, and I'll let you talk in a second. But the quick wins is a game changer. Like I said, we did a retreat, and right now, some of the students we're working with, they're all putting contracts in. And one of them I asked this morning, I said, what happened before the retreat and after that now you have like 3 contracts in the works? And she said, basically the quick wins, being able to approach some of those low-hanging fruit leads and getting her confidence, then she can start tackling everything else. So it's really how you approach it. That's why I think this week is probably going to be a game changer for a lot of you, because we're going to share with you the best way to get your confidence and most importantly, to do deals the fastest way possible. Liz,
Definitely. Yep.
you want to share a little bit about, you say you're going to talk more about that?
Oh, later this week, I'll talk about how to approach sellers. What are the most common like fears that come to it? What to say when you talk to them, and also why do sellers tend to disappear on investors even after expressing interest? So I don't want to do it today because I feel like that would be very overwhelming when you're not even at that point yet. But later this week, we will talk a little bit on how to get over that and what to do. And I'm going to give you guys, and some of you that have been in past master classes know this, I give a lot of extra tips here. So keep in mind questions that pertain today. So leads for wholesaling will be till tomorrow. But you guys, you ladies will get a lot of really good content this week that I think will help you kind of get over that hump and officially move into the investing game since a lot of you, most of you are new. All right, next question. I'll take these few more questions. Remember, one question per person, and then we're going to go into our next section. Would you also suggest to start wholesaling in your backyard?
Well, Maria, hi there. I know you. You're one of our students, but um, not necessarily. I mean, it really depends what you mean by backyard, right? The thing is, backyard could be an hour away from you. You know, if you feel, I feel like a lot of you want to do wholesaling where you are in your own backyard because you still have this concept of physically having to look at the property or physically having to do something with this property. But this is a mind shift that you have to really come to grip. And hopefully this week we can help you do that. When you're wholesaling, you're not buying a property to keep it. You're not doing inspections, due diligence, all of these things to keep this property. So you're really literally just flipping a contract. So you don't have to look at the property. You don't have to see the property. There are ways we're going to talk about how to get around a lot of things and how to work on property sight unseen. But the thing is, you go where the deals make sense. It could be your backyard. It could be an hour away. It could be in our state. You go where the deals make sense, where you can start doing deals the fastest. But I can tell you right now, even if it was in your backyard, you're probably not going to see that deal. You don't have to. You don't have to when it comes to wholesaling. And we're going to explain more on that tomorrow.
Mhm. Okay, next question. Are you familiar with Pennsylvania and New Jersey wholesale markets? Would you suggest starting in either of these markets because they're more local to me?
Yes, I mean, obviously, it's when you talk about states, it's a big concept, right? So there are pockets within those markets in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, that are definitely good for wholesaling. But you have to narrow it down more to the pockets.
Mhm. All right, the next question is this kind of is like a two-part because someone else commented in response to that. And I think this will be really good for us to address, which is honestly, it was one of my sections for later this week, but we should just start with it now since they're asking. Can you, because it's more of a mindset, can you share your thoughts about the rumors that more and more states are considering wholesaling as illegal or banned, like South Carolina? Then a follow-up comment. Live in Iowa right now, and they just passed a law this year that you have to have a real estate license to do wholesaling. The law stated that wholesalers take advantage of sellers, so it's spreading a bad opinion of wholesaling. This will be my last question, and then I'll take Teresa, and then we're going to move into the next section.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, look at this as a positive thing. Okay. Um, Wholesale, like I said, is really honestly kind of a newer strategy because when I started wholesaling, as they call it 30 years ago, it was called flipping the contracts, which is honestly the best terminology for it. But anything like anything else, there are people out there that take advantage of things. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when you could assume loans with no qualifications back in the end of the 80s and the 90s. That was a goal line. I remember when you could refinance properties without being on title if you had a contract for deed or release options. There's so many things there that happen in the industry. I could go on and on about that. They're not happening anymore because there are a lot of people misuse that. Now, the fact that the states are saying you have to be licensed, to me, that's a good thing because they're regulating the market. They're regulating, they want people that know what they're doing. They do things by the book that are legal, and there are going to be repercussions on these people if they misuse their license for things that are illegal. So that's a good thing. And it's not a big deal. If you have to get licensed, guys, you can go online and study online. There are websites there that you can do all your course and they prepare you, and then you just have to take the state exam. So don't worry. I've done it in 3 different states, because you have to be licensed for each state. So that's not a big deal. Or you can work with an agent who is licensed. Okay. So don't let that scare you. Now, for places like South Carolina, which we have several students in South Carolina who are wholesaling as we speak, it's illegal to do it a certain way. But there are ways around that. Like, for example, in South Carolina, I know somebody's selling a program for $8,000. And to my students, I teach them for free because to me, that's something that I've done anyway. It's called installment contracts to wholesale, going through an installment situation. So a lot of the things that we're doing in states like South Carolina, where wholesale, quote unquote, is illegal, we are going back the old ways of doing things, how I used to wholesale back in the beginning of the 90s. So, and that was legal and it's still legal. And we can use that in South Carolina. So, yeah, don't get caught into that. It's just a way of regulating, making things better and making this industry standards better. So, yeah, it can be done in any case.
And that's one of the things that she mentioned was, it's a good thing it's getting regulated. There are so many people who take advantage of sellers who are not treating them with the respect that they need, that treats them like a number or another dollar sign. And we talk a lot about that on our public channel, our Real Estate Investing Women channel. But something that's really important and one of the reasons we opened up today's live to the public is because unfortunately, a lot of wrong things are being taught out there. A lot of bad things are being taught on how to take advantage of people that are in a situation. And we want the right information out there. So we want to make sure that you guys are taught properly how to invest, properly how to wholesale, properly how to do all this, but do it in a way that's fair to others as well. Because I do believe in karma. I believe that what you give out there is what you're going to get back. And eventually all these bad wholesalers do get caught, but that unfortunately it really ruins it for the rest of us who are doing right by people. So just kind of keep that in mind. Last question, and then we're going to move into our next section. How long do you suggest sticking with one strategy before branching out to other strategies?
Well, that really depends on the individual. Okay. So a lot of you are at different stages. Some of you are brand new, fresh, never even have an idea what anything is. So, I would like you to solidify more. It's more about how many deals you do. So let's say, for example, if you're wholesaling, I usually say 3 to 5 deals, then you can start adding a second strategy. Okay. If you're doing rentals, I would like you to reach at least a portfolio of a few deals. But now rentals, that's it, or fix and flip are a little different because honestly, you're going to wholesale deals that you don't want for your rental business, right? So that's that you can do both strategy there at the same time. It's more about wholesaling that if you want to get into rentals or flips, you maybe want to do at least 3 to 5 deals. Why is that? Why is that magic number? Because if you use a lot of the private money or hard money lender out there, they will tell you that once you have 3 to 5 deals, they will consider you as a seasoned investor in their terms. The way they're gonna expect your down payment is gonna be a lot less than if you are brand new.
Mhm. Okay. So, kind of now, I want to talk a little bit about business organization, time management, and things like that. And tomorrow, I'm going to open up a guest pass to our student mindset call that we do every week on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. So, those of you who are on today, you will get a guest pass tomorrow to the student mindset call where I will speak on this. So, I'm going to keep this very brief and very light today because I have a whole training that I've been prepping for my students who struggle. Now, why am I doing this? Because at the retreat, there were about 35% of the room who said they struggle with time management, no matter the tips or what was given or things like that. It's just, we are busy people, right? Who feels like, into the chat, who feels like, since I really feel like COVID, time is flying and you're pulled in a million different directions, right? So who feels that way? Who feels like they struggle and it's like I know everyone has the same 24 hours in the day, but I can't get my 24 hours together, right? Like my ducks are all over the place. They're not in the same row, correct? So we'll be talking a lot about that tomorrow. But one of the things I want to say as you're getting into real estate is that you really have to make this business your own. You really have to make this fun. Real estate, while it can be stressful, there's a lot to get into it, it's a wonderful business and you can make this exciting or you can make this the worst thing you've ever done. It all comes to how you think about it, how you approach it, and stuff like that. If you are someone who loves to learn, real estate is for you because every deal is different. Every scenario is different. That's why mentors are so important, believe it or not. And it is a phenomenal tool. It's a tool that gets you where you want to be. It's a tool that sets financial freedom. And we'll talk more about this Friday of like the breakdowns of that. But it is a tool. It's not something that needs to encompass your entire life. Now, for people like Laura and myself, real estate is our life, but we love the real estate. We look at homes daily, we talk about it. We were at Disney yesterday and we were like, hey, they're Disney homes for like $9 million down the street. We looked at pictures of them.
Liz is thinking of that one because he's like, I want to, she might as well move into Disney because
Yes, it's so real estate is that tool for you. It's somewhere where it just gets you to the goals that you want. And one thing we were talking about last night too is like how badly do you want the end goal that you're envisioning? Because we were sitting at Disney, okay? We are literally crammed. Like I was like thinking, I don't know if anyone else freaks out since COVID about being this close to that many people, watching these fireworks. And these tickets, there's no discounts, there's no group rates on things, there's nothing like that, are $240 for these Halloween tickets for 5 hours of your time at Disney. And I'm sitting there and we're seeing families, like 10, 15 people. When you want something, you're going to do what it takes to get there, including Disney, where you don't really get an exchange back except for all the excitement. And I love it. I'm a huge Disney fan. But we're like sitting there. And so you have to organize and prioritize this, right, as something that really matters to you. And so I ask my students when they're like, I'm having a struggle with time management. We going through all this stuff, but at the end of the day, and we give them a ton of tips and what they can do, and they love it. I say you have to prioritize this. This has to be just as important as the other top priorities in your life. Your end goal needs to be important. If you really want to be financially free, then this has to be something that matters and shows and you show up for just like you would for your 9 to 5, right? Or whatever you work. And so when you make that a priority and you start letting the excuses go, because at the end of the day, no matter how much it's a good excuse, it's still an excuse to not make this work, right? And so I want you guys to kind of think about that and business organization and tools that can help. So one tip I want to give you, and I'll dive deeper into tomorrow if you go into our guest pass, is the night before plan out your day. Now I do a big planning on Sunday and I plan my entire week. And then the night before I double check how my day's going to go because things get landed on your plate and stuff like that. So I want you to kind of look into that, okay? And then when you're doing that, make sure you plan the time to sit down. Now, if you are the type like me, where as the day goes, it gets insane, meetings get pushed behind, things like that, and all of a sudden it crouches into the time I needed for real estate, I have learned to shift and put things where I need to go. Meaning, if you have the ability to shift and put real estate at the beginning of your day before life happens, and that's when you're most productive, great. Now, Laura's the opposite. She is very much an afternoon to evening worker. She can work until the late, I get like 5,000 slacks at like 10 p.m. That is her type. So she moves it more into the evening time. I'm an early riser. I'm just because of my son, so it's easier for me. So that's just a little bit of tip there. But at the end of the day, what matters here is that you continue to show up. You have 1 hour to an hour and a half every single day this week with us. Tomorrow will be 2 hours if you get on the mindset call. Just show up, commit, put it into your planner, be here live. Because as I said in the pre-masterclass rules, this week could change your life for the rest of the year. It can open up ideas that you don't even know is possible, but also it could save you from wrong teachings. I'm not saying other coaches don't know what they're talking about. What I'm saying is sometimes information is out there that is not always correct and or it just doesn't work anymore or things like that. And so I have had people come to us and say, you just saved us thousands of dollars in mistakes because we were taught this way. Okay. So that is something. And so I have a question that says, I'm going to give it my all my time, but how do you feel? How do you deal with guilt when others give you when not making them a priority? They want the rewards, but still expect you to be there. I want to cover this really briefly. Okay. So you're going to feel guilty, okay? When you are getting to a point of setting boundaries, the only people that are going to get mad at you for setting them are the people who benefited for you from not having them, right? So when you start setting your boundaries up, I want you to really think about what is more important, even for my family, okay? What is more important? For us to get out of whatever current circumstance, because I don't know your circumstance. You could have a great life for all I know, right? You could be financially well off, but you're just looking for something else. So I don't know personally. But for me, when I got into real estate, I wasn't doing well, like really, really bad. And my son was little. And so it was constant conversations with him of saying how I can help you. Like, hey, let mommy do this, and then we can do this. So I set time aside for my business where it was focused time. Now, it really just depends on the scenario of what it is. But the only people that are really going to get upset with you are the people that are benefiting from you not having these boundaries, right? People who respect you and understand that you're really trying to build your family up, you're really trying to build yourself up, because that's what's going to happen here. They're not going to be upset by it. Okay. Um, you also do need to schedule time to have fun, though. I think there's this whole hustle culture that you should work 24/7. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that you need to work like crazy. Now, temporarily, if you're juggling multiple jobs and getting into this, it may be more work than life balance for a few months, but you know that, but you know there's an end goal. Don't make that your whole personality, right? But then eventually you will get to a point where you can have a little more work life balance and things like that. You just have to put the end goal there. So like for example, Laura shares when she shifted from corporate to real estate full time. I was little, I was like 6 or 7, I think, 5 or 6. She said that she just scheduled those times out and she had to put more time to work, but she gave her goal 6 months. I will be out of my corporate and I will be real estate full time, and then I know I will have the time. So I guess it's better to say be prepared you're going to feel guilty, but don't let that be what inhibits you from being successful. Because then when you're successful, you're able to take care of your family, you're able to give them a lot of time, you're able to pay $240 for some damn Disney tickets. And then if you times that by two, because you have kids, you know what I mean? Like you're able to do what you need to do and be there and have that time with them. You actually get more time. Yes, and 6 months will fly by. You actually have more time with them then. But if you continue to say no, and I don't know your particular situation, but if you continue to say no, that time is never going to come where you have the free time to be with them, if that makes sense. So you're going to continue to stay stuck. So instead, just say no now to temporary and move forward with what aligns with your goals, right? There's a quote that goes around that says, say no to everything that's not in alignment with where you want to go. And it's something that's really, really smart because we tend to get shiny object syndrome. We tend to want to try all the things, but then our success takes longer. That's why Laura will say something, we talk about focusing on one strategy at a time. Because if you're trying to focus on all three, then you're trying to learn three different strategies. That's going to take 3 times the time to do something, right? And so it's harder to be successful. Not impossible, but it's harder. It may take longer, and your mind's going in different directions. All right. So moving into that, let's go into the raffle. So my team pulled the raffle for us. You do have to be live, and what it is you can upgrade your current ticket to the VIP Elite. If you are still on, you have to comment, so I hope you get it. I hope that session helped just a little bit there. I will be talking a lot about a lot of this all week. And speaking of what's coming up here, tomorrow we're going to be talking all things wholesaling. So we're going to talk about the transactions, breaking down the deals, analyzing deals, all of that. Same for rentals on Wednesday, I think is rentals. And then Thursday is fix and flip and creative financing and private money. So all kinds of fun there. And then Friday is the like grand finale. So Friday is building up a virtual system, how to do this on automation, how to delegate things out once you start making some money. We're going to talk about future goals and how to reach them, and massive Q&As every day. Final Q&A on Thursday, tons of raffles. Anything I'm missing, Laura, as far as what we're covering this week?
Now, do you talk about contracts?
Oh, and contracts
Yeah.
and contingencies. So
Yeah.
for those of you who are worried about the contracts, I was telling Laura, um, contracts are the easiest thing in my idea of for real estate. Once you know how to fill it out, once you know your contingencies, you're good, right? It's the sellers and all the different liens and deals that I personally think is more scary than it would be for contracts.
Yeah.
So for those
And,
of you that are worried about that, understand that once you know it, it's rinse and repeat for that.
one of the way that we teach contracts is what I call my personal favorite, which is a three-prong contract. So the way we structure contract is to get some type of reaction from the seller instead of getting a yes or no answer. So you definitely need to be part of that because it's a different way. Nobody, everybody says, I never saw it done this way, but because I don't like no. I want to get some type of reaction, so we're gonna try three-prong contract. The other thing is tomorrow when we talk about, is that tomorrow, Liz? You're gonna talk about time management.
Yep.
I want to. I will tell you. I will share with you, Liz, a tool that I use with some of my one-on-one students here in the last couple of weeks that has revolutionized what they're doing. So it's a really good way to framework because when we had a retreat, I asked in a students' room of 40, 50 students, what is the thing you struggle most with right now to get things more to move the fastest, and almost I would say 30 to 40% said was time management and organization. Was not any of the real estate strategy, none of the stuff we teach him. It was really about time management organization. So I came up with a tool to really help him do that. And I've seen already amazing leaps and bounds over the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you tomorrow.
Definitely. Okay. All right, so our raffle winner gets an upgrade from their current ticket to the VIP Elite ticket for this masterclass. It includes so many goodies. I don't have the breakdown right here, but I know you get like the recordings, lifetime access, which my sister, who also works for the company, Alex, some of you have seen her and met her, will clean up those recordings for you and get them to all of you who have bought this. So there is time for the rest of you to still upgrade if you want to. You do have to be on live, so I have your type. I hope you have typing fingers ready. I know you were live just a little bit ago. How do you get entered into these lives for those of you who entered late? Is you just comment and I just take them each comment my team does puts it in a wheel every single time you comment and you win. So whether you comment once or you color 100 times, you get that option. All right. So let's go here. Our upgraded winner is Gladys Jimenez. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. Are you on still? I know you were on earlier. Let's see if she's on. You got about like 30 seconds to comment. She was on earlier, so she may still be on. Let's see. It's like the way. Yay! Congratulations, Gladys. Or is it I'm not gonna keep saying because I messed up your name, but you can tell me in my how to properly pronounce it. My last name's Klingseisen, so I'm used to it. Okay, so what you do is you just email in Gladys to questions@realestateinvestingwomen.com, and we start giving out the raffle starting next week. So this week we just focus fully on the masterclass and everything like that. And then next week we'll start giving out the raffles and my team will be emailing you. So please email in. You have this week to claim them. After that, we are done. So just please email in and my team will make sure that you get that raffle. So check your spam if you're not seeing any responses next week or like what's going on with my raffle. Okay. All right. Laura, anything else we want to go over before we hop off?
No, we're doing good.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
looking
right.
forward to tomorrow, like guys. And one thing I want to say this week is, even if you're not interested in one of the other strategy, like buy and hold or fix and flip, do attend, because I know a lot of you, that was going to be the next thing. Now, also, we are going to share through each day things that are kind of overlapping into the other strategy. So, like, contracts, private money, lead generation, quick wins, and long nurture. So every day we are going to share things that apply to our strategies. So even if technically the day is focused on buy and hold, but we're also going to share things that apply to wholesale and fix and flip.
Mhm.
Or even if fix and flip, we're going to talk contracts, which are going to apply to wholesale and buy and hold. So, you really want to attend each day, and please attend live, because there is a lot of power into the live. Not only the raffles that we're going to share, we're going to have some amazing raffles this week, but also the fact that there's going to be some stuff that you want to ask questions. And if you're not on the live, we can't help you. So try to really attend live, because it's a whole different energy. To put aside an hour every day for the rest of the week is nothing compared to where you can be in just a few days from now.
Someone says I will be absolutely be commenting every 30 seconds now.
Okay, good.
All right, so I would love to know your top three takeaways from today. So, what are your top three takeaways of anything that we talked about today? I would love to know, and so that we kind of see what feedback. Keep in mind that I know some questions are like, Liz, I really need these answered. They pertain to other days, so don't worry, I promise I will. If you watch the pre-masterclass live, I did talk about why I only do questions for the day of. I'm trying to keep this streamlined. I've had a lot of feedback over masterclasses throughout the years. And one of the things that the number one feedback I've received is I like that you keep it streamlined and on topic. A lot of there's a lot of fluff out there, a lot of things you don't need to know, and it ends up paralyzing you having so much information in your head when you're still trying to process the actual information that we're giving out. So I promise I will answer your questions. If I do not answer them by Friday, we are going to do a massive Q&A. I don't only do one question per person on Friday. I keep that open to whatever questions you have. So if for whatever reason nothing gets answered through whatever time, maybe I don't see the comment or it didn't pertain to that day, Friday is a great day to ask those questions with me and Laura. All right. Number one mindset, how to determine strategy instead of just randomly picking. Lots more to come. Yes, don't need money to start, time management, and learn what are the requirements in Michigan. Fantastic. Get a strategy and find your market. Virtual wholesaling is my personal ATM machine. I'm super excited. The NAR was new information for me. I love that you give homework so that we are taking action that is critical to mindset. Definitely, definitely. Fantastic. I'm sure more will come in their typing. All right, ladies, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Now, there are posts going out in the group throughout the day. Keep in mind that does count towards most interaction comments for the most interaction raffles. I'll take the top three women and we will reward them with most interaction. All right, financial freedom is possible. I can do this with the right community. I can do it scared if needed. Yeah, so I have a saying. Probably see it on the back of my here with this blanket. It says do it messy. And so one time we were with the students, and I promise I'll keep this short, but one time we were with the students, and I don't know what was going on, but I was like, just freaking do it messy. Like, what are you guys doing, right? Because they were perfectionist. And one of my assistants was like, that needs to be your slogan. And she like wrote it down, put it on the board. And it's been my slogan. You'll see women walking around with sweaters that say like "Do it messy" or jackets, and you see them on the Zoom calls sometimes. And that's where it came from. And it's just a reminder you don't have to be perfect to be successful. You don't have to have the perfect deal to make things happen. You don't have to know everything or be the perfect investor and all of that. So that's where that came from. So do it scared, do it messy, do it fearful, but do it. All right. All right. All right, I'm super excited. I love getting to interact with you all. I'm going to continue to interact with you all through the group. And then tomorrow we will be here at 10 a.m. For that, keep in mind that this will have to have a hard stop at 10:55, and you will get the guest pass to our student call that's on Tuesdays. So you get to see the magic that the students get every single week with me on Tuesdays. It's a Mindset to Millions call. And I had interviewed a student last week on the mindset call. And one of the things she said, I said, what were like the biggest tools or takeaways? And she said the number one was the mindset. She said the mindset is what got me to be where I am right now. And she went way into deep in it, but I know we're already like dragging this on. So just wanted to talk about that. All right. Laura, anything else you want to say before we hop off, or are we good?
No, looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, sharing a lot of golden nuggets that Liz has do the doing messy. I have the golden nuggets logo. And and also we're gonna talk about, you probably saw in the background our book here. We just launched the book a couple of weeks ago, and we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. What that covers is women that inspired me to get into real estate investing, and also Liz. So it's interviews with some amazing women. So we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. So I'll see you then.
Yeah. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Go out there, choose your area, do your homework, choose your strategy, choose your area, because tomorrow you're